Okay. Spin rate, sticky substances. We got the official memo that Rob Manfred sent out to everybody. It's an absolute abomination. I've never seen like all of Major League Baseball just completely hate something like they did with this. They have not only banned spider tack, but they have banned sunscreen. Just a simple thing of sunscreen. So you can't use rosin and sunscreen, which is probably the most common thing and does not increase your spin rate to the point of what spider tack does. And no one is happy. I got to find this Gerrit Cole quote tonight because I think they're going to try and change this fucking thing. Like they're just like, this is not going to work. Cole said, I would encourage the commissioner's office to continue to talk with us, please, because we're the ones that throw the ball. They don't. We're the experts in the situation. We're in line in terms of intent with the commissioner's office as well. He said players are pleading with the MLB to work with them on some kind of evolution in terms of using substances on the mound rather than it being an all or nothing thing and maybe a universal substance. And that's what I think is the easiest solution here is to just create something that doesn't add 250 RPMs to your spin rate, but something that allows you to grip the baseball and that you're not just holding a fucking like cue ball out there like you find in pool. And that's basically what it is right now. And Tyler Glasnow goes down with, now I don't know whether you believe it or not. I tend to, because it makes sense. Like he had the you have to grip harder now without any substance aiding you. And him gripping harder and throwing the way he did over the last few weeks caused his UCL to partially tear. He's got a right flexor strain as well. The Rays are going to be lucky if they have him for the rest of the season. He's going to have to go the Tanaka route of rehab. And I feel like Tanaka is like the only guy to maybe do that and not have to get Tommy John. So it doesn't look good for Glasnow. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And it's going to happen more. Like you're asking pitchers to do this mid-season. It's fucking insane. Trevor Bauer, I know we all hate him, but he said that like they were promised to start the season that they wouldn't be fucked with, and this would be an off-season thing. And then basically Rob Manfred saw that, hey, I deadened the baseball and this isn't working, and now everyone's getting out. So let's blame all the pitchers and use them as scapegoats. And now they're changing on the fly. And by the 21st, I believe it is, the rule goes in place where players are going to be subject to getting kicked out of games and 10-game suspensions and all that. So this is a train wreck, an absolute train wreck. And it's not a surprise because Rob Manfred's at the helm.
Yeah, Rob Manfred is really the worst commissioner, I think, of our lifetimes, of any sport. And like you said, I think it being mid-season is what's so bad about it.
Definitely.
Where I get you can tinker with the ball. I mean, not as much as they do every offseason. It's back and forth. But this is something to do in the offseason, to talk about, to look at, and really investigate. And then pitchers have all of spring training, pitchers and catchers reporting, the games, the exhibition. They have so much time to get adjusted to it. We're not going to be tearing their UCL because they're going all out because it's the middle of the season and they're in a playoff race. Like, it's just mind-boggling. It's just mind-boggling. And I hope, I had like this dream where maybe at the next CBA, the players can be like, we'll never play the sport again if Rob Manfred's still the commissioner. And they just like bully Rob Manfred out of being commissioner.
Bauer is just like obviously a dweeb, but did you see the video where he did rosin and sweat and it was just stuck to his palm? It was fucking wild.
He brushed his hands through his hair to develop the sweatiness on his hands, and then put some rosin, and the thing stuck like it was basically spider tack.
So Rob Manfred technically just likes skin cancer.
Right. I mentioned that in my blog that like you could potentially have people go on the IL in the future with sunburn.
Yes.
Like
shit hurts.
So think about this. So you're gonna need rosin because what do you use rosin for? It's to dry yourself, right? You're pitching in a summer day. It's only June. You know how hot it gets in like July and August. You're out there sweating balls, and you need some rosin. You're not gonna what else are you gonna do? Your hand is soaking wet with sweat if you're pitching out there. So what are you gonna do? Rosin or sunscreen? And people are gonna be like, well, if we can't use rosin, I literally can't pitch. So I guess I have to forego sunscreen, and then I die. And then people are just gonna. I think this is secretly a way for Rob Manfred to kill the sport by actually killing all of the players.
It's going to be like the NFL has a concussion problem. MLB will have a skin cancer problem.
Yeah.
It's like we're going to be examining people down the road like, oh, yeah, all that pitching in the sun without sunscreen really did them in.
They had a union meeting with they have a union rep on every team. I believe Zach Britton is the Yankees one. And they basically asked, do you guys feel you're bothered by the sunscreen, rosin, sweat combination that most people are doing? And apparently no one said they had a problem with it. And then Rob Manfred goes, banned. It's like, now they're out there literally doing nothing, and Dallas Braden is running the stance. He's not wrong that, like, hitters get to use everything. Like
everything.
Like they get the pine tar out the kazoo. There's a million different sprays you can throw on bats to just, make sure you can grip it better. And now hitters have nothing. Pitchers have nothing. Where's the logic there? I just keep harping on it. To do this mid-season is insane. Like, you have a couple weeks to adjust your entire. Like, what are we doing?
He's got to be shitting bricks that Glasnow blamed it.
Yeah, and White Sox Dave was like, I am very skeptical here. But think about it, though. Like, from a common sense department stance, you have to grip the base. Like, if your hand was sticky, right? Let's say you're using Spider Tech, or let's say you're using sunscreen like Glasnow claims he was. Who knows what Glasnow was actually using? But let's say he says it was sunscreen. You naturally, if your hand is stickier and you're gripping a baseball, you don't have to grip it as hard. And by not gripping something as hard, there's less tension on your elbow and all your muscles and all that. Now you have to grip the baseball harder to feel the seams and get the grip that you want. You're naturally putting more tension on your elbow. And that is going to create more stress. And it's also a way different way of throwing a baseball. And you just have to do this on the fly. And it's not a good thing. It's going to create injuries. Glasnow is not going to be the last guy here to get an injury. And I swear to fucking God, if it's Gerrit Cole, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. But I know a lot of pitchers. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have. But I know pitchers are terrified of it. And it just makes sense that, yeah, this is going to cause it. You're telling pitchers who've been thrown this way for years that they have to throw a different way. And people, the opposition is like, Glasnow blames baseball because they're not allowing him to cheat anymore, and now he got hurt. But that's not entirely it, especially if he was using sunscreen. Like, that's not cheating. Sunscreen, rosin, and sweat does not increase your spin rate 250 RPMs. It gives you a better grip on the ball. Your spin rate goes up a tad. Spider Tech and all the other crazy concoctions, whatever the Astros were doing, that's fair. Like, getting out of the game, that makes sense. But getting everything out is insane. To not even allow them to use pine tar or whatever, like little bits of. They just dropped it's no surprise. He's the worst to ever do it. But, like, this is going to be a train wreck. Now, granted, the Yankees offense is up a lot the last, 7-8 games. Like, we're scoring 5 runs a game. It's kind of cool. We're hitting the ball again. But it'd be really bad if all the pitchers stuck again. Like, I don't want that. So, Gerrit Cole is not going to be, I'm sorry. Like, Gerrit Cole is not going to be a 13 strikeout guy every night like he was in April and into May. Like, when you're sending him out there with nothing, he can't be that guy. No pitcher is going to be as sharp as they are, unless you're Jacob deGrom, because he's an alien and he's the best pitcher of all time. He's an absolute anomaly to all of this. Everyone else is going to suffer here. We're in for a fucking train wreck. I can't say it enough. This is going to be an absolute debacle of the rest of the season. And hitting's going to be up, sure, but pitchers are going to die from sunscreen, from the lack of sunscreen, and just their pitchers, their arms just snapping off. But
what happens in the offseason? Like, do they liven the baseball again? Get rid of banning all the
this coming offseason, you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, so the way to do this would have been waiting for. Well, the first way to do this is to not deaden the baseball. That really fucked everything up because that just completely dropped all the hitting. And then you combine that with more and more pitchers doing this, and it's like, well, no one can hit now. But the way to do this would have been don't deaden the baseball, play this year out, study it, take all these baseballs and study what you're putting on it, and then create this universal concoction that doesn't increase spin rate. There's very smart people, physicists and all that, can create some sort of substance that makes everything work and it's not cheating. And that's the solution here. That's the end game, is that you can you create some sort of substance that a pitcher can use on a daily basis that isn't considered cheating, but does assist them in grip so that they're not completely left out there alone.